Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video here. This one, I wanted to touch on a few things, Yes, that female cop that shot that one dude and went in the wrong apartment coming home from work, and she was even in a different level of the apartment building. Damn sun taking different position here and making the video shadowy, fuck it, but yeah, I wanted to say this and not just talk just about that. I wanted like other kind of incidents that happen. It ain't just like cops and what people should be talking about. Everything from the March for our lives and all that shit, and blaming everything on the NRA and people having a reasonable right to have a gun. Like I said, instead of taking away people's AR-15. Yes, there's nothing fucking wrong with somebody owning AR-15s. You're in them shooting competitions, and in a lot of cases, well, you can have the facility places where they do the shooting competitions as a sport. You can lock those up and properly handle them. And yeah, if all of a sudden, if we need to, and we need to draft people in the Army in emergency, people should know how to responsibly shoot. And if you're in them shooting competitions which you got to buy all that ammo, it's costly too. It's a costly sport too. The right to bear, but I want to throw that in parentheses. But what I want to say too is this one example. Okay, come on, cop just shoots, didn't draw a gun, even trying to say, oh, the wrong, thought it was their apartment. Okay, you think somebody is in your apartment, whether you're a cop or whether or not you have a gun or whatever, so they're eating ice cream and have the TV on. Come on, you're going to shoot somebody unarmed? How are they going to have a gun? And that's pretty messed up. And I think a part of it is, I think there may have been some not so good training. Maybe they're not even trained enough psychologically to recognize things or whatever. And because you can have some kind of training and then be totally scared and paranoid that every single person, no matter what they look like, is going to have a weapon and try to kill you. But this is not just about police too. There's other things that I've seen, everything from these stand your ground things, that what I'm getting at, that instead of people, like for example, these people, they're shooting people for wrong reasons, blaming the NRA. Why? This is a simple solution there too. They do have people, even though you should have a right to bear and have a right to license to have a firearm and have responsibility, right? But yet, there's these people out there that are just, even though not cops, that are shooting people for different reasons. How come? Why is that? Well, instead of having a freaking march for our lives, and yes, there's random psychos out there. There was people out there like at church shooting. I think somebody fucking did that shit on purpose. Come on, that guy was registered that he had a mental problem, and come on, slipped by he was on record, some of these people that had these mental problems, and somehow that slipped by and they sold them a gun. I think, I'm not like an Alex Jones conspiracy theorist, but I think some fucking people are doing that shit on purpose, and just secretly egging them on and turning them loose, and then say, oh, look what happened, now we got to have a communist and even take plastic forks for eating off of everybody because, they might kill somebody with it and make us into what the hell else, But another thing I want to say about regular people having a gun too, somebody pushes you down in a Walmart where there's all kind of people, you got cameras. You don't need to pull out a gun and shoot them when they're running away, especially when there's people all around. Since there's all kind of people on this camera, all you got to do is go like this. Oh, what the fuck? This crazy person, and they look bad. But God forbid you have a firearm in a purse, right? This person that beat you down in Walmart, which they shouldn't be doing anyway, takes the purse and run. And then they have a gun, not just your wallet, a gun in it. So you got to look at that. But here's one other thing that I wanted to say too. It should solve everything. It should be reasonable too. Say you do pass a background check and you get a gun you're allowed to have, right? What's wrong with the system? You get some of these fucking people just because they passed the check and they got a gun. Some of these people don't even know how to fucking shoot it. Or they don't even know when their life is being threatened, or they're just being disrespected and pushed or some kind of thing. What, and all this other bullshit, they're all, we got to do away with the NRA, and the NRA all of a sudden is the blame for every single random psycho out there. And separately, there's people, right, that, yeah, passed a background check and they got a gun and they think they can pull it out in a certain situation. Varies from state to state. Okay, starting with putting all the random psychos out there aside, okay, and that other shit aside, and that shooting with that lady, that cop. Well, how come? Yeah, I think it's reasonable. Anybody that has passes a background check, why don't they just make it mandatory that they have a class and you watch a video, right? It's like a safety class, no different than some workplaces that, with guns put aside, where, you know, stuff they're not doing in a workplace with a forklift or a dangerous tool like you may be required to watch. Why, instead of making it so easy, have everybody so easy, they pass a background check and get a gun, and you get some of these people that actually think that you're allowed to shoot somebody in situations where you're really not, or out of, you know, presumption. There's a lot of things about self-defense that's out of presumption. That there's people that are that stupid, they think you can. Why the fuck don't they have a training video, okay? And have some play-out actors play out scenarios, like anything from a public place, a WAL MART. Like have a tutorial video and have like a test, like, hey, it's just like you have a fucking questions on a fucking driver's test, right? A car is a dangerous item that you can kill somebody with if you're fucking negligent or careless with, right? But yet now with terrorism, that a car or a truck can be a weapon now. You're gonna ban fucking cars and trucks? Which part of me doesn't give a shit, because I preached about that I rebelled against driving, and I just ride a bike places or do different jobs in my area. That I drove the family car for a while. Oh, and I even did that kicking and screaming, but I tried to do that out of necessity. But everybody got pulled over once. But yes, a car, you have to take a test with a bunch of questions, right? And yeah, because it's a dangerous thing, and it can be just deliberately used to run somebody over. You're seeing that on the news. So you take us for that. So instead of people having these crazy, very far liberal stances, oh, we got to take all these guns away, only the army and the police and the enforcing class should have of guns, which is fucking crazy, because if you're in an emergency and you need people to join the army in emergency, what, you got to fucking train all these people? Or you may have people out there that maybe you're licensed to get a gun, and that they can't even use it right to save their life, and they might even shoot their... Shit, there's somebody I saw on the news already that he had it in a backpack, and I think it went off and shot himself in the leg. It seems to me that when you get a gun, just because you pass a fucking background check, they should have maybe a tutorial video. Here's where you, and have it played out like, okay, here's where you don't pull out a gun and shoot somebody. And then maybe here's where, okay, you can say, okay, brandish the gun if your life is in danger. You know what I mean? Situations like that. Yeah, so you got to give them, have a class and have a fucking video, and that's what you got to do, and have the played out scenarios. How fucking hard is that? And you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure some people that, you know, are licensed firearms, you know, and real responsible don't like that. But yes, there were a bunch of fucking idiots that just because they pass a background check, you ever check lately how many people, if you ask so many people that presume, just because you have a license of gun, to presume that certain situations that you could just shoot somebody? I mean, and how come anybody else haven't figured that out yet? Oh no, they like to create more big drama on the news, you know what I mean? It seems that there's at the very least a need for that, a video class. I mean, you got, like I said, I don't want to be repetitive, but you got to have a series of questions, like in a driver's test. When you buy a fucking car that can kill somebody, why the fuck not, you know? And then people, once they get their driver's license, they drive like assholes anyway and end up killing people, you know? Jesus. Fucking nitwits, you know?